Next week, yes. Good evening. It's good to have you here this evening. Welcome to the Russellville City Council meeting for Thursday, April 21st at 6 p.m. And at this time, Chris Bradley from First Assembly of God Church will come to give the invocation. Please stand.
Community. And Father, I ask for your wisdom, Lord, to fill this room. I ask for there to be just a spirit of unity and camaraderie in this place. And Lord, I pray, Lord, that God, again, that you would use each one here, Lord, to be that instrument to help our community be the great place that, Lord, I believe that you have called it to be. I pray your blessings over our mayor and over all of those who are serving on the council. God, I pray your blessings over everyone here. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this time, our city attorney, Ms. Skelton, will do roll call.
City attorney? You've been promoted.
Or the city clerk. I gave you promotion.
You've been
You didn't know about that?
demoted.
She wants to run. That's funny.
Ms. Crew? Here. Mr. Harris? Here. Mr. Tripp? Here. Mr. Olson? Here. Mr. Harrell? Here. Mr. Westcott?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gray? Here. Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mayor Harris?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
And myself, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Council, you do have in your packet the minutes from the March 17, 2022 meeting. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Was that Mr. Harrell or Mr. Gray? Mr. Gray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, Ms. Johnson, our finance director, will give us the financial report.
City of Russell financial report for March. March revenues were $1,782,585 for the general fund, which was 9.1% above budget. Tax receipts were $888,140. Franchise fees and permits was $709,205. Tax revenue comparison, there's an increase in over prior year for city of 11%, and for county it's 13%. Actual year-to-date, we've received $1,375,752 for city taxes, compared to a budget of $1,350,257. So actuals are ahead of budget for city at 2%. For county, we received $1,608,239 compared to a budget of $1,562,069. So county is ahead by 3%. March expenditures for the general fund were $1,145,005. $933,582 were personnel-related expenditures. $211,423 was utilities and other. It's 0.4% below budget. $687,185 more expended than received. Street fund revenues for March were $883,718. New sales tax was $552,656. State turnback and ad valorem tax were $129,952. We received an RDOT refund for the 16th Street overlay of $90,970. The half-cent road sales tax was $56,289. In lieu of sidewalk payments were received this month of $35,500. Interest was $15,534. Street cutting permits issued were 2,200, utility reimbursement 332, and fuel rebates of 285. Street operating revenue is now 2.1% below year-to-date projections. Street fund expenditures for March operations were $198,697. $120,159 was for personnel-related expense. $78,538 were for utilities and other. Capital spending was $9,345 for equipment. On the half-cent sales tax spending, we spent $4,070 for Russellville Trails. Sales tax spending was $72,849 for Davis Box Culvert, street striping, and drainage maintenance. March revenues for the economic development funds was $81,141. That's comprised of new sales tax of $78,951 and interest of $2,190. There was no spending in March. The balance of the various economic development funds as of March 31st, 2020, the 2003 fund is $1,519,643.52. The 2007 fund is $1,022,482.72. The 2014 fund is $641,275.38. The 2021 fund was $1,146,907.72. The total of the economic development funds is $4,360,309.34. Yay. March revenues for capital assets was $22,581, which was a transfer of funds from the general for the RPD server replacement and interest. March expenditures were $86,974 for purchase of equipment for RFD, new K9 units for RPD, installation of glass sliding doors, and replacing the emergency lighting at the Aquatic Center, James Park fencing, and hangar construction at the airport. The 2021 1-cent sales tax for street, we've received $8,027,769. We have spent $813,573, so there's a balance of $7,214,196. For RFD RPD capital, we received $1,146,285, and we spent $289,277. So there's a balance of $857,008. For parks, we received $1,146,700. We spent $137,983. So there's a balance of $1,008,717. And as we discussed earlier, Economic Development Fund, we received $1,146,908, and we haven't spent any of it. Any questions?
Mayor, I do have a question for Ms. Johnson, or maybe a question for Mr. Smith pertaining to that. The $35,500 in lieu of sidewalk payments, we've had dialogue off and on over a couple of years, and I don't know if I've ever heard a firm answer on it, but is there a requirement that we, as a city, expend those in a certain time frame, or we give them back, or are they there for however long until the city utilizes those funds?
Mr. Smith, do you know the answer to that question?
I'd have to look. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think there is a time limit, but again, I'd have to see.
That is my recollection as well, is there's a time limit.
You don't care,
Those
let us
funds
know,
aren't
please.
expended.
I've had some questions asked, and so that when I saw that, it reminded me to find out.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. One thing I'd like to mention, since we're talking about finances, I was just curious the other day, and so I went back and looked at the city finances in December 31st of 2018. This council pretty much came into place in January 1st of 2019, as I did as mayor. And when you look at the funds at that time, there were approximately the city had approximately $29 million in funds available based on the various accounts. Today, if you look at the total amount that the city has available, we have over $47 million in our various accounts. And I'm pretty proud of that. I'm proud of the stewardship that the council has provided over the last 3 years to accumulate approximately $18 million more than we had when we came into office. And that is not just hoarding the money and not doing anything. I think the citizens would agree that we've been pretty expeditious in street repairs, infrastructure work, and other and sundry things within the city to move forward, and at the same time, still be able to accumulate more funds for the city going forward. Our job is not to save money. Our job is to spend the taxpayer money prudently, but I think the council has done a good job in stewardship over the last 3 years in order to accumulate those funds and spend them in the right way. So I just wanted to make that note this evening. So thank you very much. In the mayor's report, tonight we have a group of individuals here from Leadership Russellville. I want to welcome you this evening. Thank you for being here. We appreciate Leadership Russellville and all it does for our community and those who graduate from Leadership Russellville and what they do for our community. So thank you for being here this evening. Usually when we have this many people at a council meeting, that means there's some kind of controversial issue, and so we don't look forward necessarily to seeing this many people at all times, but it's sure good to look out there and see the smiling faces. So thank you for being here this evening. Item number 1 of the mayor's report, consideration of approval for the appointment of Jeannie Phillips to the Russellville Advertising and Promotion Board. What is the desire of the council? I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Departmental report. Mr. Duval.
Oh, it's already on there. Mayor, City Council, I appreciate the opportunity to give a report of some of the highlights of the past year. The first slide, I will go ahead and tell you, that was the schoolhouse trail completed. I will go into our budget for our overlay is $2 million per year. Some of the projects that we did this year was East Parkway Drive, North Phoenix Avenue, East 2nd Street, West 3rd Street, Bradley Lane, and South Vancouver. This is the looking both directions on East Parkway, and you can see that it turned out very nicely. Same on North Phoenix Drive. This is looking both directions, and this one was in need of overlay, and it's a very high traffic area, but it turned out great. We have budgeted $70,000 this past year for sidewalk connectivity, and I want to explain what connectivity is. For connectivity, we are putting new sidewalks in and connecting them with sidewalks that are already present, and trying to promote more walkability in the city. But the sidewalks we worked on were on North Phoenix, North Detroit, Hickory Hollow, and East 4th Street. Sidewalk maintenance, we budget $200,000 a year for this, and for maintenance, we try to go to all the wards. We kind of spread it out as we can, but what we do, we'll pick an area, we'll walk the sidewalks. If there's a broken panel or a crack or anything, we replace the panels, and we make sure everything's handicap accessible before we leave the area. Some of the areas that we worked this past year was North Detroit, South Denver, South Commerce, and East A Street. This slide is the work beginning and some after that we did on South Commerce, and I'm very happy about this one because I see it used very heavily. I see people walking on it every day, so I'm proud we did this one. This schoolhouse trail is it's taken care of by Parks and Recreation, but the reason I put this slide in is because we oversaw the project, and I think if anyone's been out to the trail, you can see that it's very nice, and it's just going to keep growing in the future, so hope the public enjoys it. This, I have to explain, we budget for drainage projects $1.5 million a year, And I don't know if the mayor remembers, I'm sure he does, but when Mayor Harris came in the office, Glenn and I, we sat at Public Works and went through a lot of the troubled areas for drainage. And this was a list that we came up with to start with, and all the things in yellow is complete, so I'm very proud of that. This is one of the projects that was completed. This is at 10th Street in Denver, and it was a pretty big job, but it's working great, and we're very happy with it. This is also another area we had drainage issues on South Houston and South Independence. So we put drainage in, we put sidewalks in, we actually added some curb and gutter and some overlay to the area. Downtown drainage consists of South El Paso, South Denver, and West 3rd Street. This was a trouble area as well. The water would even get up to the building sometime. So we put in a new drainage system here, and it's working great as well. This is the cemetery, and this one I put in because we actually engineered this one at our office, and we oversaw the work. And this was a road put in the cemetery to get to another section of the cemetery, and actually added some parking areas. Ward meetings we did, it's actually been probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, but I wanted to put this out. We had ward meetings, and we would have them on separate nights, and we invited the public, and they would come and tell us issues they were having, and we listened. And I just wanted to say that 3 of the accomplishments that came out of these ward meetings was the 4th Street and Phoenix drainage, Houston and Independence drainage, and it got us really going on sidewalk connectivity. That's all I have, Mayor. Any questions?
Thank you. How long was that?
I didn't time it. You tell me. I was trying to go fast.
Good job, Kenneth.
Yeah, I had good help.
Any
so.
questions for Kenneth?
Keeping you going.
Okay,
Thank you, Kenneth. Good presentation. Kenneth and Public Works Department has done an outstanding job over this last few years. I'm very proud of that organization, so thank you very much. Okay, at this time, moving on in the agenda, it is time for our, Personnel Committee. Mr. Harrell, is there anything to report there?
I think Finance Committee handled our request for the salary schedule for the position at the airport that we'll be voting on later tonight.
All right, thank you. With that, I will turn the floor over to the Finance Committee Chairman, Mr. Westcott.
Thank you, Mayor. From our meeting at 5:30 this evening, we have just a few items. Item number 1, delineated 2 on the agenda from 5:30, is consideration of a resolution that would waive formal bidding requirements and authorize the payments to Seal Solar for the purchase of electric charging stations for the city of Russellville. And we forward that to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Okay, I do have a motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Items, what's delineated on your paperwork there, 3, 3A, and 3B. It's consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign an application for CDBG funds and project administration, authorizing the submittal of an application for ACEDP grant funds to the state of Arkansas. 3A is consideration of a resolution that would establish a policy prohibiting the use of excessive force by law enforcement agencies within the applicant's jurisdiction against individuals engaged in nonviolent civil rights demonstrations and for other purposes. And 3B, consideration of a resolution that would approve a residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan. We present items 3, 3A, and 3B to the full council with the recommendation of approval.
Okay, I do have a motion for items 3, 3A, and 3B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is consideration for reimbursement request of the Russellville Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $20,000 for the first quarter expenses in accordance with their contract, and we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
From our meeting last week, the following items were discussed and forwarded to the full council. Item number 1 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize a memorandum of understanding between the City of Russellville and the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission for the installation of an ADA-accessible fishing dock at Pleasant View Park. And we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion on item number 1. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Items number 2 and 2A. Number 2 is an appropriation request from the reserves of the general fund, the sum of $250,000 to be used as a pass.
Eric.
I'm sorry?
Forgive me. Item number 1, if you'll remember, I'm sorry we go back. We have not obtained a MOU from the Game and Fish Commission on that. So I would ask to go back and reconsider that resolution and table it to the next meeting where we may have an MOU from the Game and Fish Commission. And I do apologize for not pointing that out earlier.
Well, if it's not too late, then I move that we go back and table item number 1. Second by Mr. Tripp.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table item number 1 as opposed to approving that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. West.
That's good. Good catch. Items number 2 and 2A. Number 2 is an appropriation request from the reserves of the general fund, the sum of $250,000, which is a pass-through of funding by the Game and Fish Commission to build an asphalt parking lot at the Lake Dardanelle State Park tournament area. And number 2A is consideration of a resolution for a memorandum of agreement between the City of Russellville and the Game and Fish Commission. And we present items 2 and 2A to the full council with a recommendation of approval.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution requiring the rehabilitation by agreement or removal or raising of an unoccupied dilapidated structure at 201 James Circle. And we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign a bill of sale agreement with the New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church to convey the Lattimore House to the city of Russellville. And we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
Have your motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign an amendment to an agreement with the city corporation for the revision to the cost-sharing agreement for the construction of the downtown streetscape project. We present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion?
Mayor, on this, I think the ownership committee, or whatever it's called, the partnership committee between City Corp and the city and the construction manager, we just need to be sure they convene and everybody's on the same page.
Yes, we talked yesterday, Mr. Tripp, and we will be convening the committee, which consists of the mayor, city core representatives, and the council liaison here in the near future to discuss this issue.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, thanks to the work of the Personnel Committee, our next item is an appropriation request from the 2021 General Fund carryover balance, the amount of $2,757.29 for the purpose of the funding the promotion of staff to the newly created position of senior lineman at the airport. And we present item number 6 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Items number 7 and 8. Item number 7 is consideration for reimbursement request of the Alliance for Economic Development in the amount of $22,058.95 for their first quarter expenses in accordance with their contract. Number 8 is consideration of reimbursement request for the workforce development portion of that in the amount of $29,500 in accordance with their contract. And we present items number 7 and 8 as a motion to adopt.
I have a motion on items 7 and 8. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 9 is an appropriation request from the Street Fund 2014 Sales Tax Reserve, the sum of $90,969.88, which is a pass-through of a refund received from RDOT. And we present item number 9 as a motion to adopt.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10 is an appropriation request from the General Fund 2021 year-end carryover balance, the sum of $30,000 to be used to provide funding for the remove multiple dilapidated structures for the ensuing year. And we present item number 10 as a motion to adopt.
Motion, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11 is an appropriation request from the General Fund 2021 year-end carryover balance, the sum of $157,878.09 to be used for the purchase of network infrastructure hardware and software. And we present item number 11 as a motion to adopt.
Motion, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 12 is consideration of an ordinance that would set the duties and salary of the mayor and for other purposes. We present item number 12 as a motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title with a short explanation.
Okay, I do have a motion, suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirements, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation. I have a second? Second. I don't need a second on that, but thank you anyway, Mr. Gray. Any discussion? No discussion on that either. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance setting out the duties and salary of the mayor and for other purposes, this ordinance if passed would set out the duties as required by state law, and also would make the position mayor full-time for the city and not engaging in outside employment, and would set the compensation within the range set by the Arkansas Municipal League Salary League for cities in the range of 20 to 49,999 population, repeal all the old ordinances, previous ordinances for the position of mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Okay. Item number 13 is consideration of an ordinance that would set the duties and salary of the city clerk treasurer and for other purposes. And we present item number 13 as a motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation.
Do I have a motion? Any discussion? No discussion necessary. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance setting the duties and salary of the city clerk treasurer, and for the purposes this ordinance if passed would set out the duties of the city clerk treasurer for the city of Russellville, and would set the compensation, would clarify that the city clerk treasurer position is part-time, would set out the compensation within that same range of population for part-time city clerks or city clerk treasurers from 20,000 to 49,999 population, repeal all the old city treasurer, city clerk treasurer, city clerk ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Okay. Item number 14, and I believe the last on our agenda, is consideration of an ordinance that would set the duties and salary of a council member and for other purposes. And we present item number 14 as a motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation.
A motion for first of 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance setting the duties and salary of a council member and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would set out the duties for individual council members, would clarify it as a part-time position, would set the compensation based upon the Arkansas Municipal League salary results survey in the range of 20,000 to 49,999 population, and would remove the old ordinances of, regarding council members from the past.
Thank you,
Ma-
Mr. Smith.
Mayor, I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Westcott. Moving on in the agenda, we'll begin with item 1 of old business, consideration of an ordinance setting the duties and salaries of the city attorney and for other purposes. What is the desire of the council?
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the second of three readings by title only with a short explanation.
I understand we have a motion to suspend the rules, dismiss with the reading requirements, read second of three readings by title only with short explanation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Tripp. And Mr. Olson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance setting the duties and salary of the city attorney for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would set out the duties of the city attorney as statutorily prescribed by state law, would make the position a full-time employment position for the city of Russellville, would set out the compensation for the city attorney based upon the population range between 49,999 population based upon the municipal league salary study results for cities within that range, repeal all the old ordinances regarding the city attorney in such matters.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Moving on to new business. Item number 1. This time, we will open a public hearing for consideration of an ordinance vacating and abandoning 15 feet north Greenwich Avenue, right-of-way along Lot 7 and 15 feet of East F Street, right-of-way along Lots 7 and 8, Block 93 of the J.L. Shin addition to the city of Russellville, Arkansas. Is anyone here to speak on that issue? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing at this time and move on to item 1A, consideration of an ordinance vacating the same. What is the desire of the council?
Mayor, have all notification and fee requirements been satisfied on this item?
Yes.
Okay.
She finally came in and paid the last one. I think 2 weeks ago, was it, Sarah? Yeah. Took care of it? Yep. So we're good.
Being an ordinance, Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of three readings by title with a short explanation.
Motion to read the first of three readings. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Mrs. Crew. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning 15 feet of North Greenwich Avenue right-of-way along Lot 7 and 15 feet of East F Street right-of-way along Lots 7 and 8, Block 93 JL Shin Edition in the city of Russellville, Arkansas. For the purpose, this ordinance, if passed, would remove or would vacate those aforementioned two right-of-ways as further described in the attachment with this ordinance incorporated by reference.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Item number 2, consideration of a resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding between the city of Russellville, Arkansas and the United States Army Corps of Engineers for the acquisition of real property that Union Pacific Railroad has an interest in related to the Prairie Creek and Engineers Ditch Flood Improvement Project. What is the desire of the councilor?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion? Second. And a second? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, consideration of an ordinance amending Ordinance 2194, which establishes rates and fees for services furnished by the wastewater system of the city of Russellville, Arkansas. What is the desire of the council?
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read one time only by title with a short explanation.
Have a motion to read one time only. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Harris. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What about discussion?
Not for reading one time.
Oh, adoption, I'm sorry, you're right.
All opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2194, which established rates and fees for services furnished by the wastewater system of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for the purposes this ordinance, if passed, would amend that aforementioned ordinance, section 3, subsection 3.3a, by adding the following, would lower the permit fee and would add that the City of Russellville residential new construction wastewater line inspections would be through the City of Russellville.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Motion to adopt?
I have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second? Have a second? Discussion.
What's the urgency in this?
The only urgency that I could see, Mr. Tripp, would be that the sooner this is established, then it will save home builders money and will move it, relieve City Corps with the obligation to provide this service.
Is
We're
it
looking
raising
at a
it?
$300 charge now to do this, for City Corps to perform this service. By changing this over, it'll be $75 each. Right, but for this ordinance, it'll be 75.
So there's no fee increase or anything like that, correct?
There'll be actually
There's a
be
fee
reduction.
decrease.
The city will actually perform these services as part of the permitting process, permitting fee that they already pay, and they will not have to pay the $300 to City Corps, but they'll pay $75 for connection
Thank you
fee.
for the clarification.
So it puts all the new construction inspections as far as residential, puts that on, that responsibility on the city, relieves that from City Court. Same thing on the next one.
That's correct.
That we're about to do.
That's correct. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, consideration of an ordinance amending ordinance number 2195, which established rates and fees of services furnished by the water system of the city of Russellville.
Hey, Mayor, if we may back up just a little bit, they did have an emergency clause in that. Do they really, I mean, are they needful of that emergency clause in this one and in the one we're about to discuss?
Mr. Newman or Ms. John Dahl, do you know of any need for the emergency clause?
Water, wastewater?
Yes.
It's totally the desire of the council. As Mayor indicated, this is a fee reduction that can be passed on to the applicants whenever this is enacted. So it's, if you desire, we definitely take that over. I've been talking with the building official and City Corps. They're willing to expedite this transfer of responsibility at your discretion.
Well, Mayor, considering that there's no drawback to the public, a reduction in their fees and an ease in the streamlining of everything, I move that we honor their request for the emergency clause.
Second.
All right, I have a request for emergency clause, or a motion for emergency clause. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Tripp. Discussion. We'll take a 2/3 majority of the council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, as stated earlier, consideration of ordinance amending ordinance number 2195, which established rates and fees for services furnished by the water system of the city of Russellville. What is the desire of the council?
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read one time only by title with a short explanation.
Have a motion, one time only reading. Second?
Second.
Have a second from Ms. Crew. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2195, which established the rates, fees, and services furnished by the water system of the city of Russellville, Arkansas for the purposes. Ordinance number 2195, section 3, subsection 3.3a would be amended in the same way, which would reduce the permit fee from $150 to $75, and also the city would take over all residential new construction wildlife service inspections.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt, second. Second, Mr. Keller. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, for the same reason as the last one, I move that we honor their request for the emergency clause.
Second. Motion is second for the emergency clause. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, consideration of a resolution granting a special use permit to operate a cryptocurrency mining operation at 615 Tyler Road and for other purposes. What is the desire of the council?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion. Have a second. Mr. Tripp, did you second that? Okay. Have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I would question the neighborhood's response to this being located close to residential housing, and I think maybe Ms. John Dahl had given some study to the sound level that, as I understand it, is going to be 24/7.
That is correct. We do have two individuals, and I'll let you answer the specific question, but before we elaborate on that, I'd like to give the individuals who signed up an opportunity. No, go ahead and answer the specific question if we have polled the residents in an area. Ms. John Doe.
Absolutely. So we did go door to door for the residents directly north of this proposed location. We were only able to talk to 3 of the 6 houses of the residents adjacent to this. 2 of those that we spoke to really had no concerns. They did not think it would impact them. The third one is, they live on the corner, and they indicated that it's more the traffic that goes by that they're concerned about necessarily versus whatever this development is.
Thank you. I'll bring it back to the council for discussion in a moment. I'd like to give Lewis Page an opportunity to address the council. Mr. Page, you have 3 minutes to present to the council.
I appreciate that. We are a cryptocurrency mining hosting and co-location company, so basically we don't mine ourselves. We co-locate the machines for other individuals. As Sarah said, there is a concern about noise. We understand that issue. We, mining crypto, we know that it is loud. I live in Fayetteville myself, and our company is based out of Fayetteville, and we're an Arkansas C corporation. So we don't want to do anything that's unnecessarily unfair to residents or loud or disturbing. That being said, we did work with the commission staff. We did a survey of the model on the noise with our contractors. We know that the commission staff did a survey as well, or consulted with them as well, regarding our model. And then we came to those commission terms that had been spelled out, I think 2 weeks ago, that were voted on. And I think there was an extra clause in there that was, that we were made aware of, to take a baseline reading of the noise in that neighborhood. So we know where the quietest, or we know what the decibel reading is 24 hours without us being there. And I appreciate your time.
Any questions for Mr. Page? Thank you. You did, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr.
How many of these units are you putting in?
So we estimate about 3,000 units. So these are the little crypto mining machines.
Right, but I'm talking about the things that are causing the noise, the noise outdoors. What are the?
So those are just the fans on the outside.
So
of the
how many
miners.
are those?
So there we have 4 containers planned.
4 containers. That's what
Yep.
the word I'm looking for. Okay.
So they're about the size of a shipping container, and then they have the exhaust fans that are about 9 inches, or I think it's about a foot.
Okay.
May I ask a question also? If this is approved and put in, and then the noise becomes an issue, are y'all willing to come back and address that?
Sure. Yeah, so the abatements that we've started with is the wall, the 18-foot wall, but there are additional abatements that we can add to the containers. So there's noise reduction louvers that go on the outside of those fans I just mentioned. There's additional sound dampening things we can do with ceiling container. So yeah, we would be willing to do that.
Thank you.
I would also, I talked to Ms. John Dahl about this earlier, that we're approving 4 of these. I think there should be some stipulation in this motion that we are at 4, and if there's anything additional needs to be added, that you come back and do that. Does that sound about right, Ms. John Dahl? It could be a proper stipulation for this kind of.
Yes, sir. As the council, you can add the conditions as you see fit.
No, this is a resolution.
Resolution.
Okay. Mr. Keller, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm just curious. You stated that if noise was a problem, that you'd be willing to come back, and there's some additional things that you're able to put onto the containers themselves that would reduce the noise. Why wouldn't we just start out with that? If the noise is something that we're concerned about, why wouldn't we just have that as the default to start out with, to make sure that we don't have to come back in a month or 2 months or 6 months and say, hey, man, this is way louder than it should be.
Sure, that's a great question. The abatements that we added reduce the noise level based on our models to what is currently at the property. So if we add more to the containers from the noise that we produce, that reduces below the exterior noise. There's honestly no way scientifically to test if the noise that exists on the property now would be the noise that existed that's coming from us. So we're trying to approach the current levels, the current sound levels on the property, as opposed to reducing as much as possible.
Ms. John Doe, can you tell me approximately how far we are from residential properties?
I believe it's about 400 feet from the northern edge of the containers to the properties to the north. Their entire property is 500 feet in length, and they're set in so far that I believe it's about 400 feet from the northern side of the container to the residential houses.
Can you provide this council with some kind of simulation of what the projected sound level of this would be at that 400 feet?
We do have that, and I want to give Mr. Page an opportunity to just present to the council before we do that demo, if that'd be okay with the council. Is there any other questions for Mr. Page on Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Mayor, I've got a question. So, Mr. Gray asked about the 4 units. This special use permit is only for the 4 units, so if there was more, that would automatically exceed the special use permit, and it would have to come back, or is that what the question is? We need to amend this to
We'd have to
stipulate
put the-
only 4 units.
Yeah, we have to stipulate that, yeah.
Okay.
Let's give Mr. Garcia
And I have
the
one more
courtesy.
question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know who to ask this question to, since I know nothing about crypto and mining and all that stuff. I'll ask a dumb question. Yes, it's sitting next to a new Entergy substation, but this is going to have no power effect on anybody else in our community, correct?
My understanding from talking to Entergy, they have the capacity to handle the load demand from this particular facility. Anything that would exceed that capacity would have to be addressed before they would allow them to operate.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, you have 3 minutes if you would like to present to the council.
Yeah, I think all the questions are definitely relevant. I think, the units, et cetera, we'd be happy to come back with. There are units that fit less miners or less computers that are more soundproof, right? So I think, deciding on 4 versus 6 containers, just know that there's options where you could have 6, but they might produce more noise. So just want to keep that in consideration as we have these discussions. And I think in terms of, providing other sound abatement measures, you mentioned, why wouldn't we do that now? Personally, I think, you go out there and you take decibel readings. Tyson has chillers out there as well, and don't have sound abatement measures. So we've provided the idea of putting an 18-foot wall, which at 300 feet to the other question, both our consultant and the city's consultant have discussed that being at 49 decibels. So, being out there, we're seeing ranges anywhere from 55 to 62. When a car drives by, per the citizens' comment, it can go anywhere from 75 to 80. So I think we are addressing that up front, and we are fairly confident based on not just our own readings, but on the readings of multiple consultants, that we will be below current levels. So we are doing the abatement measures that we feel are appropriate up front. And yeah, so that's the majority of my comments, and happy to answer anything else.
Thank you. Ms. John Doe, we do have a demo, I guess, based upon what we estimate the decibel levels would be for this particular facility.
Yes. So this is a video that was taken internal to a facility with the exact containers that they are using. And then we'll be playing it back at a decibel level that is approximately similar to what would be at the properties. I'm gonna bring this up to you.
Council, you don't hear that sound, right? So, they're gonna be really quiet, no pin drops or anything. So you get a video of this. For those of you who can't see it, that's continue. Okay, thank you, Jack. That gives a little bit of an idea of the noise level that we're looking at, and that, again, that would be outside. If you were inside your home, then you would be able to hear that to any extent. And also, Ms. John Dahl mentioned earlier, and I don't know, I'm not an acoustical engineer, but the echo within this room maybe amplifies that a little bit louder than it would be outside.
Yes, that's my unprofessional opinion on acoustical. It just seems that it is reverberating a little bit more, even though the decibel reader is showing that it's at the same decibels. When I was out at the site, it just doesn't seem as loud out there, even though the decibel reading is about the same.
Any questions?
Yes, Ms. John Dahl, to your knowledge, are there certain times of day, such as evenings or weekends, which would be the peak use times? Are there any certain times like that that this sound that we just heard tonight would be more than what we just heard?
Well, with the 18-foot wall that they're proposing, I do not believe that you're going to have decibel readings that are higher than what we're seeing out there at the site currently. I think their proposal is to pretty much maintain what we're seeing out there at the site right now.
So on weekends and evenings, when energy use is going to be substantially more, there won't be any significant increase in noise level. Is that what I'm understanding?
Because the Tyson facility operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that facility is already producing decibel levels over there. So I do believe with this running that it's going to be pretty similar to what those residents already experience.
I'd like to play for the council if I might. I went out the other day and recorded on my phone the noise level coming from the Tyson plant that would be subjected to, and I'll put it to the mic and you can hear. That's the noise that's already out there, and I can't guarantee you, I can't say that the level that you're hearing it now is the same level as out there, but that's the noise that you would hear out there if you went out right now.
I'd asked this question last time that this had come up. How many jobs is going to be, how many jobs is going to be created out of this?
Yeah, this is our first expansion site, so we're expecting anywhere from 5 to 10. I will say that we differ from most cryptocurrency companies because we don't mine the coin ourselves, so therefore our customers require 24/7 support. And so, unlike other mining companies where they can just shut down and it only affects them, if we were to shut down or have a machine go down, we need someone to fix that because our customers depend on that. So that's why we would have more job requirements on this site. And I will say that, 2 weeks ago when we were in this room at the Planning Commission, after we got done here, someone asked, "Are y'all hiring?" Right? And so it's pretty cool to see the interest here. We actually spent an hour or two after the meeting talking to folks who are at least interested in what we're doing.
When you say 5 to 10, is this going to be manned 24 hours a day, this facility, by somebody?
That is correct.
How many people at any given time, just say in the day, night?
I would say at night we need one. During the day, depending on repairs and maintenance. I would say 10's probably aggressive. There is another site we're looking at without sharing too much information that would probably scale us up to 10 people. So I would say 1 at night, probably another 3 or 4 depending on where we have a call center.
So it will be full-time jobs at this facility 7 days a week?
That is correct.
On-site here in Russellville, not we're creating 5 to 10 jobs in Fayetteville at your office there, but you're talking about 5 to 10 jobs in the Russellville community.
Yes, thanks for the question. Just to explain that, so as you send your miner, which is the machine, to our facility to host, you're co-locating that miner and entrusting us to do what we call white glove service. So our technicians will go in, turn the miner off, turn it on, replace fans, clean the units, and even solder boards when chips malfunction. So we will have to have people there 24/7 manually fixing the machines. These people are not software developers. They don't develop software or do anything remotely. They have to be on site.
Any other questions?
Mayor, hearing some concern about the number of containers, I move that we amend this resolution by adding Section 2, parentheses K, that would restrict this special use permit to the 4 containers as described in the petition.
I have a motion and a second to amend the resolution to add the restriction of 4 containers. Any discussion?
Just for clarification, that doesn't mean we would be against more, but it just.
Correct. Correct.
Opportunity to have a discussion before that.
Gives us that solid starting place.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Was that a no, Ms.?
No.
Okay.
On the
Just-
amendment?
Just the one no? Okay, motion carries. Do I have a motion in relation to the resolution itself?
Well, my motion was to approve, and it still is.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought your motion was just to add item
Well,
K, but your motion
My
was to-
first motion was to approve, but my second one was the amendment.
Okay, so now we are we have a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6. Consideration of a resolution granting a special use permit to operate a building container sale or rental business at 333 South Arkansas Avenue and for other purposes. What is the desire of the council?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Item number 7 and final item for the evening, consideration of resolution to set public hearing for the vacation of a portion of the unnamed right-of-way in the Renfro subdivision located at 1303 State Route 124.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting is adjourned.